In the same way that you would reach out and have legal advice on your contracts, you'd have an accountant reach out and advise on your taxes. You should have some degree of HR brilliance associated with your organization because it's about the compliance issues you have today. It's about the workplace culture that you have today and the culture that you're building for tomorrow. And so, whether you're a founder in a dream or a Fortune 500 company, it still remains that the way you relate and connect with people at work and empower them at work matters. And there are intelligent ways to do that, no matter the size of your organization.
And I think you know firsthand how it matters, right? I hear that you started as an assistant and worked your way up to president of the company. So, can you explain how your personal work experience kind of led you into working with people and being this kind of leader in the space?
Yeah, so I founded Jumpstart HR in 2011, and so I've worn all the hats in the business. And my HR career has been from HR assistant to interim director of a large federal contractor here in Maryland. But what I find in working with people is that whether you are working with large organizations or small, those relationships that employees have with their supervisor is the most important. In addition to that, the relationship they have with the technology and tools at work are the most important because it doesn't matter if you work for a large Fortune 500 employer and you are at the doctor's office and your benefits card isn't working, or if you're at the small nonprofit and your benefits card isn't working. Well, who are you going to call? You're going to call HR, or at least you should be calling HR, and they can go to bat for you and figure out what needs to be turned on and who needs to be held accountable for your benefits. So no matter the size of your organization, that strategic and that strong customer service, it matters, and it makes a world of a difference for the employee experience that one has at an organization.
You may have touched on this already in talking about these smaller businesses. Maybe it's just the amount of employees they're able to have. But other than that, is there a major challenge that these businesses do often face in the HR space that you maybe 9 times out of 10 help them out with?
Yeah, I mean, how much time do you have? Because that could be a whole mini series of the challenges of the small business. But I think if I had to call out the number one, it's the fact that small businesses essentially have to do more with less, or they have to compete with less. Less resources, less personnel, less access to networks and relationships. And so when you bring on a team like ours, Jumpstart HR, we're able to expand that capacity a bit. And so the number one challenge I see is just how does a startup or nonprofit or small business compete not only with their rival employer across the street, but nowadays it's the rival employer across the country and across the world because the world is not flat. We're all interconnected. And so you're competing for staff members who maybe have left large organizations and have come to your small one, or they may be approached by larger ones to find their next career journey. And so it's how do you keep your talent, keep them engaged, and create a great place for your folks and for them to want to stick around.
And do you have an example of that that maybe would work for any type of smaller business to do that, to keep engaged? We know obviously bigger companies usually have all these little perks, but even now when people working from home, those big company perks aren't the same anymore either.